Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to this Nerd Nation stream of our reactions and review of PlayStation's State of Play that just took place mere moments ago. Joining me are my usual suspects of Cousin Cheeto and Boggle Blubber. I don't know why he's called that today, but let's just go with it. All right, so we just had the State of Play, and I've got to say, I was about as impressed as I was with looking at myself in the mirror, as in not very. But I will say one thing. The one thing that did personally blow my cock off was Hitman is going to be in VR. Now, people that know me over on my channel, they know that how much I've championed VR and how much I love VR. And now having the Hitman game fully in VR, all three of the latest games in VR, it's just enough to rip your nipples off with excitement. But that's where the excitement ends. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my co-hosts and gauge their reactions overall before we break down the games as quickly as possible. We don't want this to drag on too much. So, Boggled Blubber, what were your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I was very underwhelmed of the whole showcase. You know, I wasn't necessarily championing PlayStation after the Xbox showcase, but it felt like the best bet. But now, after seeing several of the games they've shown off, and I've got no problem with them showing off indie games, but show some beef, show some hard hitting. Fuck it, oh, I have to get this type of game. Something to really knock my socks off, and they didn't show it in the State of Play. Not one game. Obviously, things like Hitman 3 does float my boat. I've played the previous two, and that is a given. But it's not new, is it, regarding something revolutionary for the PlayStation 5? It's a sequel, and so what we saw today wasn't like the best showcase in the world by Sony. Don't get me wrong, I'm still more on their side of things when it comes to getting a console in the first place, because they got the best exclusives. And I'm sure what we're seeing now is just the early stages. But come on, they've had, this is the fifth generation console, for fuck's sake. They've had over almost in a few years' time, almost 3 decades worth of time to do this shit right, and they didn't do it right. And it's underwhelming, disappointing, meh. You want to put that in there as well? I'm not gonna. Yeah, all of these things.
You guys will love you guys will love the thumbnail for this video then, because right across the bottom it says meh.
Perfect.
Exactly. So yeah, regarding this, none of the games they showed me really interest me that much. Obviously, the ones, as I said, Hitman. But overall, like, am I really gagging for anything? Am I like going, ugh? I mean, is there a Ghost of Tsushima level of game showing here? Nothing at all. So very disappointed. But other than that, whatever.
Yeah, Cheeto.
Nothing here interested me whatsoever. Crash Bandicoot definitely interested my girlfriend. She's big into Crash. She loves the Crash Bandicoot games. So she was really excited to see that Crash Bandicoot 4 was coming. Vader VR is what I'm going to call. I don't remember what it's called.
Vader Immortal.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, the most interesting thing was the last thing for me, which was Godfall. And honestly, that was like, huh? Meh? Nah. Like that was my reaction to that whole thing. So, I mean, and I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy. I'm a Sony guy. So, I mean, I don't think this was supposed to be some big reveal of anything, but I think, are they doing these monthly or quarterly? When was the last one? I don't even remember.
The last one was just a month ago.
So they're doing these every month. I didn't know if this was going to be like a big,
possibly every month. We don't know yet.
Well, the last one was the reveal of the PlayStation 5
the last
itself.
one was a big one. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I totally forgot about that. That was the big PlayStation 5 reveal. So this month is going to seem like crap regardless. So this is backlash after WrestleMania. It just doesn't have that same mythos. Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's really it. I mean, again, agreeing with Zam, believe it or not, is kind of the whole thing.
Okay. So one thing I want to touch on with Godfall, just because the narrator's comment really pissed me off. It really like there was just that little thing where I was just like, no. So in his comment, he was like, "We are harnessing the power of the PlayStation 5 to bring you this unique experience." You're like, it's just a prettier fucking generic hack and slash. You fuckwit. What's your biggest selling point? No microtransactions and no loot boxes. Ooh, how low is the bar set for gaming today? We are in deep shit territory here because these games companies are not doing anything unique with gameplay mechanics. I bang on about gameplay mechanics so much because I'm sick and tired of this standard non-interactive environment, these sprawling worlds where you can't do much. One of the bars was Legend of Zelda, the recent one, which was great. You just climb up random fucking sides and mountains and all this kind of stuff, and really interact with your environment. Here we have a game for the PlayStation 5 where you're just going around, you're slashing shit. We had a lot of anime games shown where you're just going around and you're slashing shit. Hack and slash is as boring a genre as first person shooters. In fact, I hate hack and slash more than I do first person shooters because there is nothing there. I literally go there, I mash a button. And not only that, then we get a lot of 2D games showcased. Why the fuck are we still looking at 2D games in the PlayStation 4 and 5 era? What is the future of gaming? It's just the same crap. This is why the PlayStation 2 era, or 2001 to 2006, was the golden era of gaming. There was so much innovation. There were so many amazing studios. There was just so much. They were utilizing that Unreal Engine 2 to its fullest limits and gave us some of the greatest games of that era. Since then, we've had nothing that's blown my cock away. And we're in the PlayStation 5, and Godfall is like the fucking closing piece of this showcase. Come on, I know this is just the third party showcase, but we've seen the first party showcase. Nothing really blew us away there either. We don't know what we've got. Like, we've got Cyberpunk coming, and the gameplay mechanics haven't blown me away in that either. So I'm honestly, I'm at a loss for words for how boring these companies have become, and this state of play was just expected. To be honest,
I thought, Ginge, I was watching mobile games, glorified mobile games. I mean, what the fuck was this? And you mentioned about the 2D games. It's great that they look fantastic, and they do, but they are still generic 2D games that could have come out on the PlayStation 2 or 3, for fuck's sake. Maybe not looking that polished, but definitely the concept of it.
Out in the Mega Drive, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so substandard what they're showing for the next generation console, whilst the PlayStation 4, even though regarding the games, they're not being the most innovative, they're still going out with a bang with what we're seeing recently. There's some interesting titles. I'm actually worried how much money I'm going to be spending at the end of the year on this generation of console, whilst I don't even think about spending a penny on the next gen. I have no desire to get the PlayStation 5 on launch, more now than ever. And I'm dying for the next gen console as well at the same time, because I'm done with this gen. There's only so much we can do with this gen. And, I'm looking forward to the next gen, but this is what they're showing us. This is what we're getting. It's ridiculous. I'm thoroughly disappointed. And they need to do...
I'm not looking forward to the next generation at all, because I know what's coming. I'm just not expected to be blown away like I used to be with games. Cheeto, I don't know if you want to add anything to what we just said.
No, I mean, the next gen. I mean, I'm okay with the next gen consoles coming up, but I mean, it just depends sometimes on what they're going to do with the next gen console. Like, I mean, I feel like sometimes Nintendo is more revolutionary than You know,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I totally agree.
I mean, because the Wii was revolutionary, and then the Switch was revolutionary, and I mean, like, let's be real. Like, I know I'm not a VR fan, but besides VR, like, what has PlayStation or Xbox revolutionized in the gaming industry in the past, let's say, 15 years? And I mean, if there is something that I just don't know about, but I mean, like, the PlayStation Move and the Xbox Connect or whatever it's called, like, that was all a copy of Nintendo, like the Nintendo Wii. And then, I mean, VR, as I said, is really the only thing that, even though I don't like it, is the only thing that they're trying to really push for, with even PS4 and PS5. So I don't know. I mean,
literally the PSVR has been, just VR in general, because you've got like the Oculus Rift as well and things like that, has been the only thing that's really blown me away this generation. And it has legitimate, like, Astro Bot is the greatest platform game I've ever played. Okay, it is better than Mario, it is better than Sonic, it's better than all of that. It was just, and it was in VR. It was a fucking platform game in VR, and I'm sitting there just like a kid in a bloody, a kid in VR, really, because it blew my friends' kids away as well. But in terms of gaming, I mean, if you look back, what's like The Witcher 3, blew people's minds. I think more on the narrative than the gameplay, because I didn't like the gameplay of The Witcher 3. But I enjoyed the game, don't get me wrong. It just didn't blow me away. Batman, I thought Batman, the Arkham games, the first two were exceptional in the last generation in terms of gameplay mechanics and things like that. But nothing really stepped up to the plate in the PlayStation 4, Xbox One era. Nothing really stood out outside of the VR. So
everything was open world games.
Battle. We all know this battle that we all had. We had battle with these big companies over loot boxes and FIFA, whatever they do, Ultimate Teams, and the constant over monetization of everything. This has been this generation's biggest battle. It didn't start this generation, but it came to the boiling point here, and we were left with garbage games because they only focused. I mean, we saw just in the last year alone the downfall of Ubisoft. That's a discussion in itself, but this is the state we're in. So with PlayStation 5, they really need to hit the ground running. They want to up the prices of the games. I don't mind, but I need to know what I need to get something revolutionary for my. I don't want to play Call of Duty on PlayStation 5 and just be at 70 or 60 quid.
Yeah, look at that amazing sunbeam of light in Call of Duty. I mean, that's what you're getting. Yeah. It's really,
sorry, go on. Yeah.
No. Sorry, I did have something to say. I lost my train of thought. If you just take it over, Roberto, it just slipped my mind what I was going to say.
No, I mean, graphics are not the most important thing to me. A game looking good, that's what's most important to me. And a game being good is what's important to me. Like, you can have like the best looking game in the entire universe, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to want to play it.
A prime example there is like Red Dead Redemption 2. I will hold up and say that game is one of the most gorgeous looking games I've ever played. The scenery was fucking amazing, but the gameplay was boring. The only reason I played it for so long is because the collision mechanics are actually superb in it. So you're just going around with your friend having a good laugh. Other than that, it's not, you can have the best graphics in the world, but if your gameplay sucks, your gameplay sucks. The game falls flat there. You can have a cartoony, shitty looking game like Little Ninjas, I think the game was, and have the best time ever. That was a fantastic little game.
Well, and in the RPG genre, I mean, a game that always seems to deliver and is very cartoony is Dragon Quest. But you've got like
Dragon Quest
gameplay. Great gameplay, and like their games are long as hell.
King's Quest as well.
Yeah, I mean,
King's Quest was the bollocks.
But then you have games like Final Fantasy 13 that suck, but like for the time, but look good. Like Final Fantasy 15. I liked it, But would I say it's anything revolutionary? Absolutely not. It looked great, but
No, great game, but it was nothing revolutionary.
I gotta say,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
game. Sorry.
I gotta say that
I mean, like the graphics just, the graphics are a bonus in my opinion. You got to have a good game and good gameplay to start, and then you go into graphics.
Yeah, I agree.
This generation has some good moments, but it's also ruined me personally as a gamer. I think I've become more conservative as a gamer. I'm not, because obviously everything's just so expensive. It's really hard to branch out and try new things, and in that way, I haven't had the chance to necessarily dabble in new things because I don't want to waste my money. And there's nothing necessarily unique enough for me to even venture out of my comfort zone. I did a little bit with No Man's Sky, and that was but that was hyped to fuck anyway, and that game was an absolute disaster.
Yeah,
but with the way the games have been coming out, especially the AAA games, they're very regimented, all similar formulas, open worlds and shit like that. That's all we're getting, and I can't think outside the box necessarily, but I'm not a fucking games developer. I'm expecting them to give us something amazing, something that could be franchised if you want to look at it in that perspective, but different. And we're not getting that. Everything feels the same. You know what I mean? Even as good as Ghost of Tsushima was, being there, done it, worn the t-shirt, is just this t-shirt was worn in Japan. But it was very much something there were some good moments, some unique moments, but still we've been there and done, we've been there and
done that.
Yeah.
And the platforming elements of Ghost of Tsushima really, and the camera really let it down. Because you go from Infamous, which had such a great fluidity of movement, to Ghost of Tsushima, same company. That's why I'm doing the comparison. And Ghost of Tsushima just felt like a huge step down. And so you take those elements, and then you have all the side quests and all of that. In the end, it was a been there, done that. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the story for what it was, but again, I wasn't mesmerized. I already traded it in because you can still get good money for it. But I completed pretty much everything except for all the little collectibles. I don't give a shit about all that. And that, but it wasn't like mind blowing in the end. It could have been a lot better than what it was. It felt like a PlayStation 3 game.
But after looking at that game, and now we're on to the next generation now. I mean, the bar was set very high with that game. It's no different to PlayStation 3 GTA 5 being the last game on the PlayStation 3. It goes out with a bang. So we want to see something just as good, or if better, with the new console. And they didn't give us anything of that level in this reveal, and that was really surprising. Nothing spectacular at all. And if Godfall was their massive showpiece, then Jesus Christ, man, it must be. You could tell that the corporate bigwigs are running this shit because they have no idea. They haven't got a bloody clue if that is their special game. I mean,
it's not creativity. Not creativity.
But there's so much fantasy of that era with established lore, and now you want us to a new one. You know what I mean? It's just too much. It's just too much. This is not what we want, and it hasn't, or not what I want. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, same.
Were you reading the comments, Ginger? Were you reading the comments as well in the live comments in any of the streams?
Just what? No, I don't care about that.
Well, it's just but it's always good to get an idea of what people are thinking, and everyone was shitting on it. You know what I mean? They were saying the same stuff I was thinking. These look like mobile games. You know what I mean? Look at these graphics. What, PlayStation 5 showing 2D. What the fuck? All the things you were mentioning, they were saying it in the stream, just watching it scroll up. Very underwhelming. And PlayStation and Sony had the chance to really knock out the fucking park, especially with how shit Xbox was. With the Halo 5 and all that.
Look, this wasn't for Sony to knock it out of the park. This was for a lot of third-party companies to showcase what to expect for the next generation. And what they showcased was about as exciting as what we saw in the Xbox Live thing. We got gameplay. Yeah, great, but we've got a bunch of 2D games and a bunch of hack and slash games. Where's the innovation? The only thing innovative was doing Hitman in VR. So for this one, obviously, the fault isn't on Sony, but the fault. I'm not saying they're blameless because this is what they showcased us. They put this together. And they showcased us, and this was the best that they could get. We're in deep shit. If this was the best they can get for third-party titles, for now, I know it's early days, but come on, you're launching a new console in just 3 months' time, 2-3 months' time, and nothing you've shown. You're just expecting people to buy the PlayStation on name recognition alone. No, you've got to blow us away with a couple of amazing games. Like,
was there an exclusive, a Sony exclusive in that reveal?
I don't know if those were all Sony exclusives or not.
No, any of them, but no, because
I think Crash 4 is a Sony exclusive.
Yeah, you're right, actually, and that was probably
that's Sony exclusive, but I don't think the other
yeah. But like we're talking like like a level of Sony exclusive like Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima. There's nothing really of that level of their.
No, nothing yet, and you need to be launching your new console with some party exclusives that will blow us away. We ain't got that.
You would have thought they would have had one up their sleeve. I mean, it's not like Sony are short on these. They do come out with some relatively interesting, exclusive titles, but I'm surprised they didn't give us one today.
Yeah,
I think they missed the trick on that, in my opinion.
They missed the trick, so overall disappointing. If you guys have got nothing else to add, we can wrap this up.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah.
Roberto?
No, I mean that's it. I've kind of said my piece. Nothing really interested me. I mean, Vader VR is what I call it. I couldn't care less. I know that's what a lot of people are going to take. Well, most people will take from it because it's Star Wars. But even I was watching it. It doesn't even.
It looks like you're stationary and you're waving a saber around and using your force powers. Like you can even think, maybe we just do like a 10-hour PlayStation VR Star Wars immersive game.
Lightsaber game.
You do that, everyone's going to be in nappies and nobody's going to move. If you do if you do an immersive, a proper good Star Wars VR game with spaceships and force powers and smuggling and all this shit. But
we're going to get the spaceships and squadrons, but that's for PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's for PlayStation 4. All right, I think that's it. Yeah, guys.
Oh, by the way, before we go, when's the next state of play, or do you know when the next one is?
No idea.
September, okay. Yeah. And then we'll be back for that, I guess.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take it easy.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.